Hello everyone, welcome back to Module 4. Here we have how to read a play. So now we're getting into the practical work. Once we know what plays are, theater rather is, all the players in America, specifically off-Broadway, Broadway, they're moving into regional theaters that are more local here in Houston, community theaters like there are here even in Huntsville. Then we went to playwrights, talking about the people that write the plays. Without playwrights, we have no content. There is no medium of plays without the writers. There's no directors to direct the play, no actors to act in the play, no designers to design the play without the playwrights. And now we have a play. The first thing you have to do is read it. So it's a little different than television and film in the sense of you can't watch it right in front of you all the time. So seeing versus reading. Seeing and reading plays require different tools and approaches. Reading a play from a script offers an incomplete experience. So plays are meant to be read, and then the person that's reading them for whatever discipline they're working on, let's say if you're an actor, then you're reading it because you're one of the characters. And so you're reading the play to understand what your character does and why they do it, what their place is in the story. Let's go from that approach. So it's a little bit different than watching a play. Watching a play, you're sitting there and you're being able to watch everybody work, the outcomes of a couple months of rehearsing, putting designs together, building sets, building costumes, putting it all together, talking about the same things, putting it all on the same page. Reading is just a singular experience where the play exists in black and white on the page. Using only words, plays shape characters and actions into a story, which the actors then perform. Reading a play is like musical notes on the page. You'll see this in the video. Plays are just like sheets of music, where they're in black and white, and then it's up to the artists to take it from the page and put it on stage. Page of the stage. It's a terrible cliche, but it exists for a reason. Musicians just have notes on a page, and what they do is they use the instruments to be able to make the artists, the writers' music come into fruition. Symphonies put all those notes together. Soloists play individually, and actors are a lot like soloists in an ensemble, taking the words off the page, knowing the story, and making it happen. The actors, directors, and designers have to take the words given to them by the playwright and interpret them into a live performance. So the main task when we're reading a play, what we're going to talk about here, is to discover what the story is and why the story is being told. That's really our objective when we're reading a play. What the story is, or the plot, as we'll learn in a second, and why the story is being told, which is the idea of the play. Not if it's good or bad. Good or bad is kind of irrelevant. It's something that you can talk about later. Now, how do we analyze? It requires 3 techniques of critical thinking in 3 stages. So we have the preliminary work, which is preliminary, reading the play for analysis and organizing a coherent response. We're going to start with the preliminary work here. There are 4 aspects to find before reading the play. So when you open a book and the play, what that starts with is the title, right? So you see it on the front. And you have the characters. They'll tell you the different characters, their bios, and then playwright's notes and the setting. So the title, reading begins with the title. That says something important about the play. For instance, cats. I wonder what that's about. I think it's about cats. Richard II. What do you think that's about? Richard II. He was a king in England. Hamilton. We know this one. What is Hamilton about? And then the play that goes wrong. What do we think the play that goes wrong is about? Play that goes wrong. It's actually playing at the Crichton Theater right now in Conroe, if you want to go see that. So we'll also talk, so we have the title, and then we have the cast of characters. This is very important before you read a play, because you're just stepping into a world that, unlike novels, doesn't have the ability to just tell you everything in the moment. So what you have usually is a character page like this, where it starts with the name of the characters. In this instance, we have Mark Rothko and Ken. It tells their ages, 50s or older, and then Ken is 20s. And it actually helps with a little bit of their relationship. We talk about American Painter, and we also talk about his new assistant. So it says something about Ken, that he doesn't know Rothko very well, and that he's his assistant. So Rothko has a little bit of power there. Then we go to the playwright's notes. The playwright will give you insight to the play and specific details you need to know before reading the play. in this instance from the play Red. What we learn toward the end down there is that something about the world of the play as he imagines it on stage. There's two different ways that he says that he is okay with people doing this play from a set standpoint. He talks about the pulley system, raise and lower, display of paintings, can be a very literal set. And then he also talks about alternatively, the entire setting could be abstract, which means nothing, or just a bench or something like that. And then he also says there should be no intermission. So we learn a lot about the play just from the playwriter's notes before the play has even begun, before any dialogue has been written. We also learn about the setting. So here we learn it's Rothko's studio, it's at 222 Bowery Street, New York City, and the year, 1958-59. It's in an old gymnasium, so this gives you a lot of insight into where we are for the set designers, for the costume designers. The hardwood floor is splattered and stained with hues of dark red paint. There's a door leading to an unseen vestibule, and then we need to know where everything is. So this starts the imagination. In your head, you can think of New York City. You think of the 1950s, the late 50s, early 60s. You can see a hardwood floor that's almost like a gymnasium. You can see all these things. The clothing then comes into place. There's a phonograph with a stack of messy records, so you think about that sound, the scratchiness of it. Then we start to read the play. So all that work is done before you start the play, so you're enveloped in the world of the play.